Mayor Walt Maddox joins us on the line live. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. How are y'all doing?
Hey, great.
Pumped up for a Friday, man.
Yeah, Power of Pink meet tonight, Mayor. That's going to be cool.
It is. It's going to be a great weekend in Tuscaloosa. Temperatures look great. I tell you what, it's really just going to be a fun weekend. And I don't know about you, but it's been a long week, and it couldn't come at a better time.
Man,
it has been a long week.
It's been a long week for sure. We were just talking about that this morning, actually. Like I felt like I started running out of gas about Wednesday.
Yeah, I do too. And generally, I'm a high-energy person, but we've had a lot going on this week. And this morning when I got up and went to the gym, I just didn't have the step in me this morning. But hopefully what I'm going to do is get my energy back, get the coffee in me, and we're going to be ready to rock and roll.
Get your second win.
Yeah.
That's right. That's right.
We wanted to talk a little bit about some of the guys around here. Ben, George in particular, sent us an email, and he was all excited about the whole Uber thing. Talk to us about that.
Well, this has been a year-and-a-half process. As you know, in August of 2014, Uber began operating in our market before going through any of the processes that are required under state law, whether it was business license or background check, vehicle inspection, and having commercial liability insurance. Those are things that are regulated both at the state and local level, and those regulations have to be met. And so from that point, and it was pretty public, we had to shut that business down. And unfortunately, we were unable to have what I would call fair and reasonable negotiations, because certainly all of us want the ride sharing in Tuscaloosa. I certainly want Uber because I think it would uplift our market in a great way. They changed in the past year. They changed personnel in this area. And this summer, we began a dialogue, and they were already working in a couple of other markets, so we made a decision that this fall we would begin to reengage, and we have, and we're very close to an agreement. I would say that we're getting the I's dotted and the T's crossed.
Nice. And
so hopefully it'll go before the city council in the next 2 to 3 weeks. Now, the council will have to adopt it, but I believe it really it does two things that I think are important. Number one, it is providing for the safety and security of our residents. And Tuscaloosa is unique because we have 37,100 students. And we all know that too often alcohol plays a role in that. And so to get into a car with a stranger, especially with a young person, especially with you introduce alcohol into the situation, we have to go the extra mile. That's just the nature of the community that we live in. The second thing that it does, it actually, as best as we can, it deregulates some portions of the market and equalizes taxi companies to ride-sharing companies. So we're trying to make sure that the same advantages that ride-sharing has, that local taxi companies have as well.
That makes sense.
And then I don't think anybody could argue that we certainly want to make sure that people who are a part of Uber, I mean, anyone who thinks that safety shouldn't be a concern and want to, like you say, make sure all those I's are dotted and T's are crossed is not living in reality. I certainly want to make sure when I get in a car with someone, if I participate in a ride-sharing program, that, the checks and balances are in place to make sure that crazy folks aren't just going and getting an Uber license and doing what they do.
Absolutely. And you have to remember, this is a business that operates on the city's tax-paid right-of-way. They operate on city roads, and the city then has a both statutory and moral obligation to ensure the safety. Chief Anderson has been an instrumental part of these negotiations because ultimately it's the Tuscaloosa Police Department that oversees this. But through this process, we've learned a lot. I would think Uber has learned a lot. And I feel very confident that we're going to get an agreement. Now, I don't know what the city council will do. I can't speak for them. But I think we're going to give them a good agreement to consider, and hopefully we can pass. We've also been working with the city of Auburn. Several months ago, we sat down with Mayor Ham and his staff, and we thought that it would be good if we could work in parallel lines together because we have the same issues. And that's been a very positive outcome of this as well. So I really think we're on our way. Again, anything can happen in negotiations, but I feel very good about where we are.
Well, that's great, and we appreciate you, fighting for the community, making sure we get a good deal on both sides of the ball, and appreciate you stopping long enough to update us on where you were in the process.
Well, anytime, give me a call back. Anything going on in the community, you guys always reach out and call me because a lot of times things are much more complex than what you may see in a tweet or a 2-minute digital piece on television or on a newspaper headline. Oftentimes there's a lot of thoughts and a lot of complex issues that makes it a little bit more difficult than one would think of whether you can have or have not this or that, or in this case, to have Uber or not have Uber.
Makes sense. Awesome.
Right.
Mayor, thank you very much. And we will, in the next couple of weeks, whenever the council actually gets to see the proposal, hopefully we can follow up with you. You have a fantastic weekend.
Man, we're going to knock it out of the park today.
That's what I'm talking about. All right. Bye-bye.